All right, welcome to The Explainer. So today we are diving into a theory of everything that is, well, it's pretty out there. I mean, it's unlike anything you've probably ever heard of. It's called the Cosmic Duck Protocol. And yeah, you heard that right. So right out of the gate, this whole theory just throws a massive curveball at you. Forget the Big Bang, forget let there be light. The source material here suggests that the universe began with a sound. A single primordial sound that it says set everything, and I mean everything, into motion. It even describes it happening across something called the frictionless ice of pure meaning. Wild, right? Okay, so that brings us to our first big section. We're going to explore the core idea here, which is, look, the universe isn't built on quarks, like we learned in physics. No. According to this, it's built on quacks. Now, this is where it gets really clever and kind of funny, to be honest. The source material builds its case by drawing these direct comparisons between real particle physics and, well, cosmic ducks. Think about it. In physics, quarks have flavors and color charges, right? Well, so do ducks. And quarks can't exist by themselves. They're always in groups. And what do ducks do? They flock together. It's basically reframing all of physics through this, let's just say, a very different and very yellow lens. Okay, so this whole rubber duck thing might sound familiar to some of you, especially if you're into coding. There's this real-world technique called rubber duck debugging. Programmers will literally explain their code, line by line, to a rubber duck on their desk. And just the act of saying it out loud helps them find the bug. But here's the twist. The source material takes that idea and just elevates it. It's saying this isn't just a handy psychological trick. No, it's a real form of communication between consciousnesses, with the duck acting as this perfect, simple receiver for your thoughts. So where is all this heading? What's the ultimate reality here? Well, according to this theory, if you meditate, like really deeply, you go past your ego, past all the mental chatter, you're not going to find some serene void or a blinding white light. You're going to find this. A cosmic duck on infinite skates just gracefully gliding across a frozen pond of pure possibility. And this isn't supposed to be chaotic or random. It's presented as the truest nature of existence, pure, joyful, and just magnificently absurd. All right, let's jump into the next part, because this is where it goes from being a quirky physics theory to a full-blown cosmic myth. The source actually tells a story to show us how all these ideas work in practice. And wow, the characters in the story are just incredible. First up, you've got Wobblethar, who is described as being made of top quark tenderness. Then there's Lumaquack, who communicates entirely in waveforms. And where do they meet? At a rave inside a black hole, naturally. And who's the host? Of course, it's Schrodinger's rubber duck, who is somehow both at the party and not at the party. It is just wonderfully, perfectly bizarre. So they meet on this gravity dance floor, and their connection, this love-at-first-sight moment, is so powerful, so immense, that the universe itself literally hiccups. It has to pause and rewrite the laws of physics right then and there just to allow for it. The source even has a name for how they understood each other instantly: waveform consent. We're talking about love as a force that actually physically alters reality. And this is how you know their love was fundamental. I mean, truly fundamental. It didn't just change their immediate surroundings. No, it changed the very building blocks of the entire cosmos. Their connection was so deep that it actually created new flavors of quarks. You heard me. Suddenly the universe had things like tender quark, resonant sauce, and my personal favorite, snuggle charm. It wasn't just them either. The world around them was feeling it too. Even the pond they were near, which, by the way, was sentient, started to react. It didn't just sit there and watch. It got involved. It started bubbling up this beautiful, kind of goofy equation to describe what was happening. Love equals the sum of a quack times infinity. I mean, you can't get more romantic and mathematical than that. Of course, every good story needs a villain, right? And in this one, it's a jealous goose who's trying to tear them apart using logic, cold, hard logic. But guess what? In this universe, logic doesn't stand a chance against love. Wobblethar and Lumaquack literally overwrite the laws of causality, of cause and effect, with a love poem. And in doing so, they create a whole new universe called the Featherverse, where love is the one true fundamental force. Okay, so what's the point? It's a great story, super imaginative, but what does a cosmic duck love story have to do with us? You know, here in our lives? Is there any practical takeaway from all this? Well, that's what we're getting into in our final section. we're going to see how this whole beautifully absurd philosophy actually becomes a practical tool, something you can use to break free from your own rigid thinking, those mental loops we all get stuck in. So the source gives us this new term, erisai, and it's basically the cosmic principle of liberating silliness. It's described as the universe's secret weapon against us taking ourselves way too seriously. This isn't just about being goofy, though. It's a profound absurdity that's so powerful it can just smash through our defenses and dissolve fear into, well, cosmic giggling. I mean, think about it. It's pretty hard to stay stressed or afraid when you're picturing a duck on infinite skates, right? And it all boils down to this really simple 4-step protocol. It's like a practical guide. So, number 1, when you're in doubt, just quack. Seriously. Number 2, when you're scared, remember the duck on the skates, that joyful, absurd image. 3, when you're feeling lost, the idea is to find your own infinite skates, that sense of graceful flow. And finally, when you feel found, when you're centered, you quack with cosmic joy. Simple as that. So, when you boil it all down, the big takeaway here is a total shift in how we look at things. The source is really asking us to consider that maybe, just maybe, consciousness isn't some problem we have to solve, and existence isn't some machine we have to figure out and control. What if it's more like a cosmic joke that we're all supposed to be in on? What if it's a dance? It leaves us with this final lingering thought. What if we're all just cosmic ducks on infinite skates? And the most profound, the most enlightened thing we can possibly do is just learn to enjoy the ride.